What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope everybody's having a great day. I myself am having a good one, and it just got better. As you guys know, receiving car parts in the mail just always makes your day. I mean, especially for me, whenever I receive car parts in the mail, it's like Christmas morning. So today's gonna be another S10 video, so I do apologize about that, but I promise you there will be a different car coming to the channel. Promise. Very soon. So as you guys know, in the introduction video that I made of the S10, I had informed you guys that I upgraded the sound system on it. I did two 8-inch speakers on the doors. I did two 6.5-inch speakers on a box that I never got to show you guys, and it's actually right here. This is the box that I was trying to show you guys. And as you can see, it has one 6.5-inch speaker here, one here, and then it has two 4-inch billet tweeters. And then inside the truck, we have one 8-inch speaker on each door. Then we have two 4-inch tweeters on the dash, one on each side. And then we have two 8-inch subs, one on each side of the cab. I have a separate amp for the subs, so that amp seems to be working perfectly fine and it has never gave me issues. But I am having an issue with the amp that powers up all the other speakers of the truck. So like the two 8s, the two 4-inch tweeters, all the speakers that are on that box that goes in the middle. It seems to be having some troubles. I think it's just because it's old, it's outdated, and it's on its last leg and it's giving out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that amp changed over. It is a JL Audio. I have ran them many times before. They are good amps, but I think it's time to try something new. So now I could go ahead and show you guys what amp I went with. Alright guys, so here is the new amp. I went with taramps. This is like the new technology of the day, the new, I guess you could say the new model. It's called taramps. They are a company out of Brazil, I believe. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. But they specialize in making amps that are very powerful, but very compact, like very small in size compared to other amps that claim to run the same amount of watts. This one right here is a 800 by 4, so 800 watts by 4 channels, so 200 watts each channel. I did go ahead and go with the DS series, and it is a 1 ohm amp. We could go ahead and unbox this amp now. So here is the new amp. So as you guys can see, this amp is pretty small in size. This is literally, I mean, let me put my hand up to it. Literally like the size of my hand. That's how small this amp is. And for it to be an 800 watt amp, that's pretty impressive, because I've seen other 800 watt amps. I've seen other amps that are less, like say 600 watt amps that are almost 3 times the size of this amp. So yeah, as I was saying, they do specialize in making very compact amps that run a lot of power. I've seen amps that claim to be 600 watts, and they're literally 3 times the size of this amp right here. And there is a lot of amps out there as well that claim to run certain wattage. For example, like let's say they claim to run 800 watts, and in reality, when they're dyno tested or put on a tester, they only run like 400 watts. They never really run their true number as advertised. Taramps, on the other hand, has been really taking the market by surprise, because the fact that they're this small, I mean, like I said, the size of my hand, and they're running this much power, it's actually true. There's been many people who test these amps, put them on amp dynos, and they are literally true to what they're advertised. They never miss. They always run For example, this one says 800, so this amp will run 800 watts on a tester all day. There's many videos out there. You guys can go ahead and check them out. They're all over YouTube of people running these amps on testers or dynos, and they literally put down what they're advertised. So yeah, but as you can see, this amp does have built-in crossovers as well. And then on this side is where all the wires would go into, and they're like Allen keys. So yeah, that's the amp. Alright guys, so now that we have the amp all unboxed, we're gonna go ahead and start removing this seat. This seat does need to come out because the other amp is underneath it. It's pretty easy. You take this plastic off, just unclip it. See if I can do this with one hand. There we go. Okay, so that's off. And then we have, I believe these are 15mm bolts. There's 3 of them, 2 here, 1 over there on the front. And then we have a Torx bolt in the as the 4th bolt. It's like down here. I would have to push the seat up, but as you guys can see, that is the amp that I'm going to be replacing. Let me take this key out. Jesus. I went ahead and grabbed the wrench. It is a 15mm and it is a ratcheting one. It's just easier because here you can't really use an impact or a drill of any sort to remove or back out the rest of the bolt, so this just makes it quicker. So we just have one 15mm here, which is a little tight. Okay, so we got that one. Then we have one back here. There goes that one. Okay, so we've broken this one loose. We've broken this one loose. Now I want to go ahead and break this front one loose. Okay, so that one's broken loose. So we have all 3 of these bolts broken loose. Now I'm going to go ahead, grab the drill or the impact and the Torx bit for the last bolt. There also is a little plastic cap that goes over the last bolt, and it's a Phillips head. So you just need a Phillips head to remove that one little Phillips head screw, and then you need a Torx bit. I did go ahead and remove the other 2 bolts. The other bolt was a Torx bolt. You can see it right here. This is the 4th bolt that goes over there, and I was also using that as a ground for the amp. That bolt is a Torx bit of it's a T50 Torx bit, and then you just have this little plastic cover that goes over that last bolt, and it's just a 1 screw, a Phillips head. So once you have this taken out, you could go ahead and back out all the other 3 screws, and the seat is ready to come out. Oh, and also there, on some S10s, not all of them, there's a plug in the bottom for the airbag, and you need to make sure that you remove that plug before removing the seat, because a lot of times people remove the seat and they just rip it out. And then you would have to obviously repair that whole plug. But another thing to keep in mind is that once you do that, you don't want to turn the vehicle on or move it, because if you turn it on or move it at all while that seat is off, the actual airbag light is going to come on in the dash, and then you would have to have it reset it. Alright guys, so I got the seat removed. Please excuse all of this. I know it's a mess right now. I will vacuum all of this before I put this back in. But as you guys can see, look at the difference in the sizes of these amps. This one, let me just line it up. Literally like almost a quarter of an amp that it has here, and it's even much shorter or less narrower. So that's pretty insane. And then not only that, but this amp claims to run only 300 watts by 4. So this should be much better. This should be an upgrade over this one. Again, this is an old amp as well, so I think it's just on its last leg. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this swapped over. I'm gonna get all these wires swapped over into this one, and then we will go from there. I don't think I'm gonna film me swapping all the wires over, because this is something that is very like important and intricate, and I just want to make sure I'm paying mind and putting everything in the right spot and where it goes. So I will check back in with you guys once I have this other amp all wired in. Alright guys, so I am back very much later. It took me a few hours to do this. I've been at it almost all day. So I did go ahead and finish up. I put the new amp in. Everything is installed now. As you guys can see, it's a much more cleaner setup. Even though there's a mess of wires right here, it's still a pretty clean setup. As before, there was a huge mess of wires, and then not only that, but that amp, the previous amp was pretty big. So the amp, we did go ahead and test it. I played a few songs on it already, set up the whole entire system when it comes to like the equalizer and things like that. Unfortunately, I can't play anything for you guys because I will get copyright for that, and I do not want that to happen. So unfortunately, I cannot play anything for you guys, but I did go ahead and finish up the setup. I did go ahead and zip tie all these wires together just so that everything is much more picked up and clean. I put electrical tape on all wires just to be on the safe side, and I changed around a bunch of wires as well. I did a brand new power cable here to the battery, and I did a new ground for the amp as well. And yeah, all around, I'm pretty happy with this. Oh, I also went ahead and vacuumed this whole area as well. I know when I first started the video, it was a mess and there was a bunch of like trash and stuff all over the rug, but I did go ahead and vacuum everything now. It's looking all clean, all nice. And now all that's left is to put the seat back in, and then once the seat is back in, then we could go ahead and finish everything up, and that's pretty much it. Alright guys, so I got the seat back in, and to put it back in, it's the same process as we did earlier, just reversing it. So you got these 315s, 15mm bolts, so you just want to tighten these by hand first, just to get them started, just to prevent any stripping from happening. The Torx bolt, I already put it in because that is the ground for the amp, so I just wanted to make sure that that was tight and put on properly, so I did that off camera. But you want to put in these, well, the Torx bolt first, and then these other three, which are the 15mm. Then you want to push this back, and then you got to put this front one in over here, and then I just screw them in by hand until I feel like they're tight enough for me to put a ratcheting wrench on it, and then I tighten them snug. Well, not snug, but I do put a little bit of oomph into these, as these are the seat bolts. So I'm gonna go ahead and ratchet these down now. Alright, so that one's tight. Now we gotta do this one. Okay, that one's pretty tight. Push the seat back. And then we can go ahead and do this front one. Alright guys, so those 3 bolts are tight. Now we've got to put the 2 plastics on. Which one of them is over here? This plastic, and then you got a clip right here and a clip right here. This goes over the 15mm bolt. So you just want to go ahead and line up the clip with the hole. There's like a hole right here for the clip. You just want to line that up. Clip that in. Then you want to line up this back one with the 15mm, and that one is in. And then we have this little one that I had informed you guys about earlier, and there's a Phillips head that goes here, which I accidentally lost. And this cap goes over the Torx bolt. So you just want to go ahead, slide it in here. All right. Okay, so that is essentially the install to the amp. As you can see, the cap is back on there. The amp is all bolted up. It does not move. All the wires are tucked and like hidden away. And then as you can see, the plastic is back on. That box goes in the middle right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, everything is working, everything is operating. We already went ahead and tested it. I went ahead and wired everything and did the whole process with my dad. And it took a little while, but we got it done. Much more cleaner setup now, much more better sounding, and just the overall fit and finish with the smaller amp is so much better. I actually really like it. So you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, share, subscribe, turn on the bell notification icon.